Hi there, Vivian here. I wanted to share with you 3 ways to wind down on a midwinter evening, especially in the run up to any festivities such as Christmas. You can see that I celebrate Christmas, and I know that can be a really stressful time of year, but also in the run up to New Year's and that wrapping everything up, not only gifts, but also any projects and getting ready for the new year, making sure you're complete with all sorts of things. That is a deadline for many people that can really stress us out. If you're your own boss, then you might be working a little bit overtime, even if you're not actually. But I feel like the evenings need to be a sacred space for you to wind down. And even though it might be tempting to go to Netflix or something and binge watch something to just allow your brain to switch off, which is a very valid break, I actually recommend going off the screen completely. And so there are the 3 ways that you can do it. Of course, there are many more, but here are 3 things that I have done recently that have really helped me come into a space of calm. So the first thing is to set up the ambiance, and you can be creative with that. Allow your creativity to flourish, allow your inner child to come out. One thing I did, thanks to inspiration from a friend, was she found some paper patterns online, which we simply printed on standard printed paper, black and white. That's all I had. We used markers to color them in, and we spent an evening cutting them out, sticking them together, and then we put little LED lights in them to light them up. So that was really fun. And we got to hang out, we got to chat, and I actually couldn't stop because it was so much fun. Another thing is to paint or draw or do something with your hands. Even if you don't feel like you're creative, I believe everybody is. So I encourage it and see what happens. It's an interesting process also to explore how you deal with when something doesn't quite go to how you planned it. And maybe you get frustrated with certain skills you feel you don't have. Well, then you work with what you have. So there's a lot of learning in that, and can be really interesting. Plus, it can be a very mindless activity, very meditative, when you don't have to think. Maybe it's simply coloring in a coloring book. Who knows? And while we're on sort of childhood activities, which really all of this is, it's kind of going back to your childhood, isn't it? That's if you had a happy childhood, and hopefully you did. Here's a gift from a friend that I just received, reading children's stories. Why not? They're so beautiful. And this one I'm going to share with that friend. We're going to read a chapter, and then we're going to talk about it a little bit. This is actually one of my favorite movies. And all in all, I mean, there's also games. I have a game right here, but I'm not going to show it to you right now. But there can be games that just 2 people play, and they can be very simple. Actually, no, I will show it to you. It's this one here. Very simple and really fun. So those were my tips. My final thing, I mentioned it at the beginning, but low lighting is really important. And we are, at the moment, today is the 20th of December, it's just past 4 o'clock. It's getting dark. We are at the darkest part of the year here in the Northern Hemisphere, and it's really important to honor that. As far as I'm concerned, we do get tired sooner in the day, and it's good to have a little bit of low lighting, maybe some real candles, to light up the space, warm the space with that warm glow, and not to have these bright lights that often the TV or your phone or your computer will have, or your tablet. So I recommend switching those off. I mentioned that already, but also creating a little bit of ambiance with warm, low lighting that helps your nervous system come into that state of rest gradually, and then eventually you'll find that you're ready for bed, and you will hopefully sleep a lot better than if you continue to be on screens until late in the evening or doing a lot of busy work. Hope that helps. Let me know what you do in your evenings to wind down at this time of year in particular. I'd love to hear from you. Take care.